The old building of the high school has been subject to various rumors and folklore over its 86 years of existence. Many of these stories deal with supernatural occurrences.
There were times that things would just turn on, and we had a running joke up there that it was George, George was the ghost, and we gave him a name, and George would turn a sink on. Like, we'd be sitting there in class, and all of a sudden the sink would come on.
Last December, drama club, we were wrapping up a rehearsal, and there was one photograph of me at the edge of the stage where you can see in the picture what looks like an orb. And, the story is that orbs represent energy, spirits, ghosts, what have you, which started this whole big discussion on ghost stories, legends in the old building, and things like that. We were about 15 minutes into our conversation as a group when simultaneously we all heard a sound out in the hallway. And we all just kind of stopped, looked at each other. My face turned 15 different shades of purple. I thought it was the custodian coming to kick us out. So I went out to the hallway. I'm yelling, Mr. DeStefano, Mr. DeStefano. Nobody.
I think that in the very, very old times in this building, there was a home ec teacher. This was the home ec room, and there was a stairway to the basement. I think she's here. And I think she comes to visit and just wants us to know she's here.
To check the validity of these ghostly stories, a couple of students joined me in my quest for truth. We investigated the old building using cameras and electromagnetic detection devices. Here we are on the second story of the old building. This hallway here runs parallel to the old auditorium, and there were once doors here that have been covered by many sheets of mud and rock and paint, and we just do not know why.
Oh, Shalane, I'm picking up some major electromagnetic activity. Right here. Right in front.
And now we are about to go in this old mechanical room that has not been used for 50 or more years. Someone tried to claw for the light switch and just didn't make it.
Cold spot. Anybody else feel that?
I'm getting chilly.
Oh, cold.
These stairs lead to nowhere. Seriously, there's nothing here. Well, it looks like this room was used to keep bad children when they were too much to handle, and their arms and legs would flail everywhere. And it looks like there's a gigantic hole in the ceiling, probably where all the ghosts come in and out of.
Wow.
Oh, sorry guys, my bad.
Now we will venture down this hallway covered in jungle art. Whoever started this never lived long enough to finish. And now we are here to the only entrance to the basement. I don't think anyone's been down here since it was built. So let's just take a look, see. Look at all the names of all the children. Who knows where they are now? Are you guys picking up any signals?
Oh yeah.
Oh, like you wouldn't believe.
Big time signals.
Ghost dogs.
From the vomit-filled lockers to the trap doors and the stairway that leads into a wall, there is no factual information that states whether the old building is actually haunted or not. I suppose it is just a matter of opinion. Have you ever heard of the old building being haunted by anything?
No, never heard any stories about that. I know it's old, having been built in the 1920s, but never heard of any hauntings.
And as for the well-known rumor about dead bodies being stored in the old building after the Opera House fire,
Actually, that's not true, because The Opera House fire was in 1909, and the old building wasn't built at that time. There was a building where the Borough Hall stands now, and it was the Washington Elementary School, but originally when it was built in 1899, that's what was considered the high school building. When they outgrew that, it became an elementary school. But yes, indeed, there were bodies from the Opera House fire in the Washington Elementary School on Washington Street, but none here.
After our extensive search of the old building, I've come to the conclusion that it is not haunted. For now. This has been Shalane Miller for Bash TV News.